Politico yesterday released a leak that it had obtained of a potential Supreme Court opinion that Roe v. Wade is about to be overturned. And of course, there's already opinions from both sides flaring up, and I've got one too, but I think mine might be a little different than many people out there. And there's a lot of part of me that wishes it wasn't. A lot of part of me, yeah, okay. So you can tell I'm going to have issues thinking this one through here, but I've actually got really mixed feelings about Roe v. Wade being overturned. I know the Christian establishment, is immediately rejoicing. We're making it illegal. We're going to stop murdering babies. And the other side, the pro-choice view, is this is a terrible thing. This is horrible. And I think that both sides tend to get stuck in their extreme. And I think we're actually doing harm to both with this. So I end up with a lot of mixed feelings. Okay, I would hope that we can all agree that abortion in the case of unwanted pregnancies is a terrible thing. We don't want to see it. It's not good for the mother's health. It's obviously not good on the unborn child that's aborted. Abortion on its own is a terrible thing. But I don't know that necessarily making it illegal is going to fix it. What a lot of the conservative Christian establishment may not realize is that abortion rates actually go down much more under Democratic regimes than they do under Republican ones. Why is that? It's because there's more of a focus on what really will reduce and eliminate abortion, and that is education, health care, and prevention. You want to eliminate it, stop it before the pregnancy starts. And that means teaching people proper sex education in school, proper prevention education in school, not just abstinence. I agree abstinence is the best method, but before I was a Christian, somebody telling me not to do it had no effect. I just kind of made a few rude gestures and a few words, and I was going to do what I was going to do. We can't expect people to live by the same standards we do. They're going to live by theirs. Not everybody's a Christian. I don't expect Christians and people who don't believe in biblical standards to live by them. And you can't force that upon them. It doesn't work. So we have to acknowledge that as a reality. So again, education, teach them how to be safe, how to prevent it, and then here's going to be something that some of my Christian viewers are going to be free birth control. When we were a newlywed couple, cheap birth control was huge for us. Birth control prevents unwanted pregnancies. It helps in so many ways. You're not going to stop people from having sex outside of marriage. I'm sorry, but we can help prevent some of the repercussions of those choices. And birth control is one of them. I don't see why we shouldn't be allowing that. And it would prevent a lot of these unwanted pregnancies, which would then mean no abortions. This is just something that we should do. I'm a big proponent of education and prevention. And for both, I think it would be good for everybody. I really do. My other huge concern is what this is going to do for health resources. When you make abortion illegal, if you've got a woman that is in need of medical help for that, she's not necessarily going to be seeking it. She's just thinking, get rid of the baby. Women who want an abortion are going to get one. They will go someplace where it's legal, or they will go underground. This is what they did in the past. It's what they will do again, whether it means crossing state lines or national ones. Mexico had a booming abortion business before, and many of those facilities were unlicensed, unsanitary, unsafe. And we're looking at a return of that. If they're in desperate need of an abortion, they're going to get one, and you're putting lives and health at risk for that. That bothers me. The other things that it makes me struggle with is in the cases of rape and incest and aberrations like that. Yes, they're rare. They're a minute number, but what are we doing to people in those kinds of cases? something like a tubal pregnancy. Many of us don't realize that tubal pregnancies are actually 1 to 2% of overall pregnancies. And when a tubal pregnancy happens, the baby has no chance of survival. This baby grows, it bursts the fallopian tubes, and it puts the life of the mother at risk. Great risk. And by legal definition, to deal with a tubal pregnancy means an abortion, because you have to remove the fetus. It's not going to live anyways. But are we sentencing women to death for tubal pregnancies because technically it's an abortion? Are we sentencing women that have a health issue that's going to kill them and the child to death because technically they could be abortions? We're eliminating a whole category of health care that honestly it should be there. It should be available. It's one thing that there are so many nuances in this, so many other things to deal with. And I'm afraid that if we only focus on legal or not legal, we're missing all of these other depths. And we're missing the fact that these are people that are dealing with this. I've never been for the protests outside the abortion clinics with the people shouting, jeering, because it's horribly traumatic for these women that are already going through trauma. That's not how you help them. If anything, you're scaring and intimidating them away. And I'm afraid that's what a lot of these laws are doing, is you are taking people who are in need, who are going through a traumatic time, pregnancy is, and rather than helping them, you're making it harder and pushing them away. And rather than doing what needs to be done, what would be most helpful, I think we're eliminating that as well. So, I mean, it's a struggle. Do I want to see abortion end? Absolutely. I just don't know that legally this is the right way to do it. I think we should all be struggling in working towards reducing and even eliminating abortions. At least the non-medically necessary ones. Medically necessary, I think they need to be available. And that's up to a decision between the doctor and the pregnant woman. That's up to them. Those of us who are not going through that, that's not our say. But I really struggle whether this is the right way to do it. And this is another case where we have politicians writing laws who have no clue and concept of what's going on. I have a hard time when non-medical people tell medical doctors how to do things. Just like I have a real problem when politicians who've never been in a classroom try to tell a teacher how to do things. And that's part of the reason our education system is so screwed up. But that's a whole nother rant. I do think we need to pray about this. This could still change. We don't know if the leak is even legit yet. And if it is, there's still possibilities of opinions changing and other things. This may happen, it may not. But regardless of what it does, I would hope that all of us would look at what can we actually do besides just trying to force a law or an opinion on somebody. What can we actually do to reach out to where people are, help them where they are, and do what we can to reduce and eliminate the conditions that lead to unwanted pregnancies and thus abortions. I think that's an even higher and greater calling, and I think that's what we should be focusing on. Let's remember the people, not just the law. Jesus was all about the people, and so should we.